Welcome to another episode, everyone. Lady Girl Mad from Denver Lane Bloods was a known individual around the Los Angeles area. She, in fact, was at some point the girlfriend of Baby B Braze of Who's Who's fame from Denver Lane Bloods. And one night there at a party in the Hacienda Village Bloods, the Haciendas in Watts, she was brutally unalived, allegedly by a dude from Haciendas, even though the Denver Lanes and the Hacienda Bloods have no beef. Let's get into it.
Hood politics. In this episode, I will be discussing the story of Dominique Moore, also known as Girl Mad, from the Denver Lane Bloods. The facts of the case are as follows. On the night of Friday, September 24th, 2021, there was a birthday party taking place in the Hacienda Village Projects in Watts. Among the attendees was a woman named Dominique Moore and her friends, Christian and Precious. The three had gone to the party together, and by all accounts, the night was going well. People were talking, dancing to the music, and having drinks. By midnight, Precious had had too much to drink and started arguing with others at the party. Dominique wanted to leave because she was irritated with Precious and embarrassed by her behavior. She and Christian tried to calm Precious down, but she continued yelling and cursing at people. Dominique told her to go to the car multiple times, but she refused. A few minutes later, a man from the party approached Precious and told her that she was being disrespectful and had to leave. And she replied, "For what? It's good. Ain't nothing going on." The man told her to leave again and started pushing her. Dominique and Christian pulled Precious away, and the three started walking to the car. The man followed them. Moments later, a woman nicknamed Hollywood approached the man and asked him what was going on. He hit her in the face and continued following the group to their car. When Dominique, Precious, and Christian made it to their car, Precious noticed the man holding a gun by his side. He approached her and Christian, who were...
Okay, so clearly this individual, if we're following the narration here, is very upset. They're at a party. They're in the Haciendas. Hacis for short. Hacienda Village Bloods, again. And a well-known group in Los Angeles. They're at the party. Precious, not even Lady Girl Mad, not even Dominique. That's Lady Girl Mad. It's not even her. She's trying to go home. She's trying to get away from the party because he's saying that she's embarrassed by her friend's behavior. She's trying to calm her friend down and has told her friend many times to go to the car. Get out of here, you tripping. So they're taking her to the car to get her out of the party, to get her away from the situation, to calm her down, stop her from yelling and hooping and hollering. Perhaps she's in someone's face, whatever. They say she had a few to drink and she's whatever. She's acting up at the party. So apparently she's in somebody's face. Apparently the dude that's following them to the car. Perhaps it looks like she was in his face saying whatever, got him riled up to the point that they're saying that they seen a weapon at his side. He's following them to the car. A woman approaches, tries to stop him. He punches her in the face. He don't want to talk. He's done talking. He's, upset at this point, clearly. But so far, Dominique, the woman, Girl Mad from Denver Lane Bloods, looks like the mediator, someone who's trying to de-escalate the situation. Somehow, she ends up getting one caught in her neck. She ends up being the victim.
Were on the passenger side of the car and told them to hurry up and leave. Dominique was standing on the driver's side and told him to calm down, and they were leaving. The man then walked around the car, approached Dominique, and pointed the gun at her head. Another man who was standing nearby grabbed him and told him to relax, but was pushed away. Christian ran to the other side of the car and got between the man and Dominique. He then motioned to a group of men that were standing across the street. The men ran to the car, and one of them got between the gunman and Dominique and separated them at arm's length. He tried to calm the situation, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. Moments later, the gunman pushed the man out the way, aimed the gun at Dominique, and opened fire, hitting her in the neck. Dominique started running, and the man shot her 2 more times. She stumbled a few feet and collapsed on the ground. The shooter then fled the scene. 911 was called, and police and paramedics arrived at the scene a few minutes later. They attempted to help her, but sadly, there was nothing they could do, and Dominique Moore was pronounced dead. She was 27 years old and the mother of a young boy. Detectives arrived at the scene and began their investigation. They found that Dominique had been shot in her elbow, thigh, and neck. The gunshot to her neck was fatal, and based on the stippling around the wound, the bullet was fired from point-blank range. They then obtained surveillance footage from cameras inside the projects. The video showed an armed man following Dominique and the others to their car. Another video showed the man aimed the gun at Dominique's head. Investigators were familiar with Dominique and knew that she was a well-known member of the Denver Lane Bloods and went by the nickname Girl Mad, or GM for short. She was the sister of a well-known Denver Lane member nicknamed Baby Emac, and around the time of her death, she was in a relationship with another Denver Lane member nicknamed Baby B. Brazy. A few years prior, he was charged with multiple murders, attempted murders, and robberies. Dominique took the witness stand during his trial and testified on his behalf, but her testimony did little to help, and Baby B. Brazy was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 256 years to life in prison. Dominique also had her own legal issues. Shortly before her death, she was sentenced to 5 years probation after her and a group of Denver Lanes attacked a group of people with a knife. Investigators were familiar with Hacienda Village and knew that it was one of the most dangerous areas in the city. The projects are claimed by a gang called the Hacienda Village Bloods, also known as HVB. The gang was founded in the 1970s and quickly became one of the most notorious gangs in the city. The gang became widely known after helping to organize the 1992 gang truce, along with the Grape Street Watts Crips, the Bounty Hunter Bloods, and the PJ Watts Crips. A study found that out of 9 of the most dangerous projects in LA, Hacienda Village was found to have the most crime. In the year 2000, Hacienda Village was renamed to Gonzague Village after a woman named Ozzie Gonzague, who was known for her community work in the area, but the projects are still widely referred to as Hacienda Village, or the Hacies for short. 2 days after the shooting, investigators arrested a member of the Hacienda Village Bloods named Darnell Kelly and charged him with Dominique's murder. He later pled not guilty, citing self-defense. The Haciendas and the Denver Lanes didn't have any issues and were on good terms, but investigators knew that the murder of someone as beloved as Dominique could put them on a warpath. It took a lot of conversations and things happening behind the scenes to prevent an all-out war from happening. Darnell's trial began in March of 2023. The prosecutor during the trial was a man named Timothy Richardson. Richardson described Darnell as a hot-headed gang member.
That's tough, and that's just why, it's best to stay away from house parties in particular. Parties, period, but certainly house parties, and even more so, gang parties. Parties where gang members are going to be there, or gang members are throwing the party. Because, once alcohol gets involved and all of that, not to excuse anything or justify it, these are just the facts. And all sorts of other narcotics are being taken sometimes at these parties. These dudes are not in their right mind. Period. They all turned up, listening to all this hip hop music. And all of this stuff has an effect on your mindset. And then you end up not making it home. Get into it with someone, again, looks like she was just trying to mediate a situation, trying to de-escalate a situation, trying to get her homegirl Precious out of there without causing too much more of a rift. And, I don't know. I guess she said something to the dude too, because he ended up going over there on the driver's side. I guess he said that she told him, "Man, calm down. We about to leave. We trying to leave." Like whatever she may have said, man, you turned up, man. We out of here already, man. Chill out, bro. Whatever. He stopped what he's doing over there on the passenger side where he was at with the woman Precious, who was really had ignited everything, apparently, according to this. and instead turns his ire and his attention to Dominique, to Girl Mad, and goes over there on the driver's side and points the weapon at her. And eventually, as we heard, pulled the trigger.
And said he initiated the confrontation with Christian, Precious, and Dominique. He said Darnell pulled out the gun and started giving orders, and the moment he felt challenged, he started shooting. The defense attorney was a man named Jay Keenan. He told the court that Darnell did shoot Dominique, but said he only did so because he believed she had a gun and was going to shoot him. Richardson then began calling witnesses to the stand. The first being Christian. Christian described going to the party with Precious and Dominique that night. He said everything was going well until the drinks kicked in. Christian told the court that earlier that evening, Dominique showed him a gun that she kept in her purse. Richardson then called Precious to the stand. Precious told the court that she and Dominique were close. She described going to the party with her and Christian. When asked if Dominique had a gun that night, Precious said no. Investigators didn't find a gun at the scene, in the car, or on Dominique's body, and none of the surveillance video showed her with the gun. Darnell took the stand and told the court that he grew up in the projects and he is a member of the Hacienda Village Bloods. He said he didn't know Dominique personally, but had seen her on social media and knew that she was from Denver Lanes. He said he didn't have any
So then it's not allegedly. He already admitted, or his defense attorney admitted there in open court that he did pull the trigger, but just, their claim is that it was self-defense, but not that he did not do it. And he self-admittedly is a gang member from Hacienda Village Bloods. That's who took her out.
animosity towards her, and the Haciendas and Denver Lanes aren't enemies, so he didn't have a reason to target her. He admitted to always carrying a gun, knowing that he wasn't supposed to because he's a convicted felon, but said it's necessary to have one to protect himself from rival gangs. Darnell then told the court about the night of the shooting. He said it was routine for him to go to the projects, and that night he went to the party. He noticed Christian, Precious, and Dominique were there, but he had no plans on interacting with them. Later that night, he saw Precious arguing with multiple people at the party and decided to intervene to keep things from escalating into a fight or a shooting because that would draw unwanted attention from the police. Darnell said he approached Christian and asked him what's going on, and he replied, "Nothing right now, just trying to get her to chill out." Darnell said he started walking away, and Precious said, "I'm not going anywhere, bitch ass nigga." He replied, "Yes you are," and then pushed her away from him. He then looked at Christian and told him to control her. Darnell said Dominique wasn't part of the initial confrontation, and he didn't have any interaction with her up to that point. A few minutes later, Dominique, Precious, and Christian started walking to their car. Darnell said he followed them to make sure they left. Christian looked back and told him they got her, while Precious continued cursing at him. He said he noticed Dominique messing with her shirt and assumed she had a gun, but didn't see it. Darnell said Hollywood grabbed him and asked him what's going on. He stopped to talk to her for a few moments, but then he noticed that Dominique, Precious, and Christian still hadn't left. He approached them again, and Precious started cursing at him, and the two started arguing. Hollywood approached Darnell again to see what was going on, and he pushed her away and said, "Get out of my face." He told Christian they need to leave, and Dominique chimed in, saying they were about to. Darnell told her they should have already left, and the two started arguing. Darnell said he walked to the driver's side of the car, and the argument got heated. He denied pointing his gun at her and said he was actually pointing his finger at her while telling her to shut up. A few moments later, Darnell said he noticed Dominique was holding a black semi-automatic handgun by her side. She said, "You better back up, you better back up," and he replied, "What you gonna do?" Darnell said Christian and multiple others tried to intervene and calm the situation, but he and Dominique continued arguing. Darnell said he saw her rack the gun and believed she was about to shoot him, so he pulled his gun and shot her. He said he shot her a second time because she was still holding the gun, and he shot her a third time because she had turned towards him and he believed she was going to shoot. Keenan referred to Christian's testimony and told the court that it's not a coincidence. He said Dominique showed him a gun earlier that evening, and Darnell saying he saw her holding a gun later that night. Richardson played surveillance video of the shooting for the court and said it clearly contradicts Darnell's claim of self-defense. He pointed out how Darnell went out of his way to confront the group and how he kept following them while yelling insults and making threats as they walked to their car. He said the video showed that Dominique wasn't armed and wasn't a threat. Richardson closed by saying that Darnell acted as if he owned Hacienda Village and could bark out orders to wherever he felt like, and because Dominique didn't give him the respect he felt he deserved, she deserved to die. Ultimately, Darnell was found guilty of murder for the death of Dominique Moore, as well as gun charges. On May 22, 2023, Darnell Kelly was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please like.
Wow. That's deep. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to Lady Girl Mad right there, to Dominique. Beautiful black woman. Lost her life. We all have to be careful out here. Hanging out in these streets, gang banging, we live by the sword, we die by the sword. We have to be careful about what we putting out there. We have to be careful at these parties, as I said. Just don't go to them, even if you have a weapon. It doesn't matter. Many people think because they have a weapon that they're protected or that they are safe. Not so if everyone else has one, or if the person that you're getting into it with, if the person that you are dealing with has one also, it's even Steven. It's 50-50. Even though you have a weapon, it's 50-50 that you make it out of that situation. Somebody gets to drop first, How many people do we know die with their weapons on them? How many police officers die? And they're trained to draw their weapon quickly, shoot it, aim it perfectly and all that, and can't get to it. Got it right and can't get to it. They got gunned down. I didn't see it a million times. So having a weapon is only half the battle. Don't get your weapon thinking you're tough and I can just go do whatever I want to do. Because, again, if the other person has one too, you're in trouble. Someone's in trouble. It's just not worth it. Again, rest in peace to her. It's a sad story as far as I'm concerned, because it really seemed like, at first anyway, she had nothing to do with it. Even old boy from Hacienda Village, the individual here found guilty of this and who said that he shot her, just had his reasons for doing it, self-defense or whatever. So, again, it's not alleged. He admitted to it. Even he said that the confrontation had nothing to do with Dominique at first, that it had nothing to do with her, that it was just Precious and whoever he was hollering at the other dude or whatever. And again, as the narrator, shout out to Hood Politics, was saying early on, she was trying to diffuse the situation, get her homegirl to the car because she was embarrassed by her behavior. So she was trying to get out of there. And then, somehow an argument between Dominique and this dude eventually transpired. He turned all of his rage clearly towards her. Said that he saw a weapon and all of this. They didn't buy it. They said she didn't have a weapon. He had shot her in the neck, and then, she was even able to still run and try to get away, but then he shot her 2 more times as she was running away. Now his life is over. Everyone's life is affected by this, including the people that were with her. So her life is gone. His life is gone essentially as well. So we all have to think, not only the victim, but the person who's victimizing someone. We all have to have he should have had better control of his emotions as well. They were trying to walk to the car, just let them go. Unless your life is at threat, which it wasn't, just let them go. Say that decision would have saved everyone's life. You have to have emotional intelligence and emotional control. Rest in peace to her. Stay safe and stay free, people.